this has proved to be the most controversial book I've ever written. And that surprised me. I didn't expect that. I thought Love Thy Body would be.
Love Thy Body. I know that would have been my guess too.
But at least in the Christian world, I guess theologically conservative Christians really do pretty much agree on homosexuality, transgenderism, and abortion. And I was just giving them more tools, more worldview tools to explain it, to teach the kids better, to address the secular world better. But in the Christian world, the male-female issues are actually more inflammatory. So in my classes, for example, most of my young female students identify as feminists. And if I said anything positive about men, they would get triggered. If I said men are strong, they would say, well, women are strong too. Of course, yes, but this is a book on men. Or when I announced to my class I was writing a book on masculinity, a male student immediately shot back, what masculinity? It's been beaten out of us. So I had to rewrite the first chapter multiple times. And when people talked about the book, to their friends and family members, invariably the first question would be, whose side is she on? It's immediate, this hostile reaction. Whose side is she on? And why is a woman writing a book on masculinity anyway? So one of the things that I found that was helpful is I started the book with this sociological study. The guy's not a Christian, but he's very well known in his field. And so he gets invited to speak all around the world. And he has devised two questions that he asks young men, from Australia to France to Ecuador. He asks them two questions. He says, what does it mean to be a good man? If you had a funeral and the eulogy is he was a good man, what does that mean? And they have no problem answering that. They say, in fact, let me see if I can, here's my notes so I can give you the exact words. Honor, duty, integrity, sacrifice, do the right thing, stand up for the little guy. I kind of like that one. Be a provider, be a protector, be responsible. And the sociologists would say, well, where'd you get that? And they say, well, it's just in the air we breathe. And especially in the Western countries, they would say, it's our Judeo-Christian heritage. Then he would say, okay, second question. What if I say to you, man up, be a real man? The young men said, no, that's completely different. That's not the same at all. And they said, that means be tough, be strong, never show weakness, win at all costs, suck it up, be competitive, get rich, get laid. That's why I had to read it. That's not my words.
No, yeah.
Get rich, get laid. And so that the difference between the good man and the real man, men are made in God's image, and they do know what it means to be a good man, universally around the world. In fact, there's another study done by an anthropologist. It was the first cross-cultural study of concepts of masculinity a couple of years ago. And he found that no matter what their view of masculinity was, they agreed on what he called the 3 Ps: provide, protect, and procreate, contribute to the next generation. So men do know what it means to be the good man, but their culture, especially the more secularized the culture gets, the more it pressures them to be the real man, defined by the things that we normally mean by toxic, by, look out for number one, get ahead, be aggressive.
Being a predator, yeah. Being a predator in every sense of the word, not just sexually, but a predator everywhere.
Yes. And so I kind of use this as a connecting thread through the whole book. Yeah. Like, as I said, where do we get our concept of the good man? Well, since I limit it to America, one reason I did that, by the way, is because it meant I could start with a Christian view, because early America was pretty much Christian. And so it gave an easy way to set a baseline of the Christian perspective, and then to show as modern culture secularized how we lost that, and how the real man, as we talked about earlier, the Darwinian influence, for example, how the real man took over, and how when people talk about masculinity being toxic, they're referring to the real man that puts so much pressure on men to live up to a different standard, not the good man, but the real man.
And it all makes sense because that real man, quote unquote, has Darwinian origins. And again, if mankind is only the most evolved of all animals, and then yes, if survival of the fittest is the rule, then it would make sense that the real man, quote unquote, in the toxic form you just described, is considered the epitome of manhood. It all connects and makes sense. It's just completely flawed.
Yes, and I also want to.
And now, a brief message from Gospel Spice.
Has Gospel Spice been a blessing to you? If so, would you partner with us and help inspire our generation to delight in God by paying Gospel Spice forward? Our goal is to continue providing in-depth, high-quality, free Bible resources for all. We need your financial support to keep this going. Please pay it forward today by making a tax-deductible donation at gospelspice.com/donate.